Were there any other books or resources before we finish up here that you wanted to mention to our listeners that maybe we could put on our show notes as well? What would you mention?
Yeah, a book that I really love is Gaining by Losing by J.D. Greer. And that's really gives a good picture. It's a church-based, book for pastors, but he gives a really good vision for sending your best and trying to start a multiplication movement through your church or your ministry. So I think that is an awesome book. I'd recommend every ministry leader read. Good to Great is another great book that I based a lot of my ministry on. Actually, the principles in that book. I've written a whole article.
Oh, that's right.
College ministry from good to great. Maybe we can link to that in the show notes.
Yes.
That is a really challenging book. I would say The Fuel and the Flame, but now I'm the co-author of it, so I feel a little awkward saying that. But we do have The Fuel and the Flame. And then actually a really interesting book to expand your thinking is Church Planting Movements by David Garrison. It was one of the first books that described some of these exponential movements that were happening across the world. And actually, I've tried to apply some of those principles to our ministry in Chico. And not everything, but we've taken a few principles like sowing broadly with the gospel, abundant gospel sowing. And it has a great section of that where it talks about these missionaries that had been laboring in this unreached people group for years without seeing anyone come to Christ. And all of a sudden in the 7th year, they started seeing these people one after another coming to Christ. And the person interviewing them they said, what changed in that 7th year? And they said, we started sharing the gospel.
Minor detail, we had forgotten the first 6 years, Sorry about that. Gosh.
Yeah, they were so busy doing the relational evangelism, earning the trust. Yeah. But in the 7th year, they just said, hey, we're just going to share and bridge into gospel conversations with as many as possible. And they started seeing a movement developing. And then they started discipling those people, and it started taking off. So, and that's been true of our ministry is we do ongoing relational evangelism, but we don't do friendship evangelism where it's a lot of friendship and not evangelism. Yes, we want to do both and relational evangelism, and then make sure that we're getting to the gospel as soon as possible in a relationship with somebody.
I think a tweet that you and I composed and put on Twitter at some point, just kind of humorously, sarcastically saying that we've noticed a correlation over the years that the more people you share the gospel with, the more people receive Christ.
Yeah.
What an astonishing statistic. And the fewer people ask to receive Christ, the fewer people receive Christ. It's amazing, that correlation. And of course, some people don't know that we're kind of doing tongue in cheek there, but there is a correlation, right?
It's true. It's real.